So hello friends, my name is Amit Singh and welcome to Khalsa Vlogs. So today we are going to do the half of our chapter 6th day class, and chapter name was How Daddy Played Ping Pong. So we left here, so let's begin from here. He began playing better and better, but his marks kept getting worse and worse. The teacher took him aside and talked to him several times. His teacher took him aside and talked to him several times. She explained that there was a limit to everything. She even reminded him of the saying, "There's a time for everything." So it was a very easy paragraph. So let's move to next place. Little Daddy didn't argue because it was no use. How could her make how could he make her understand that ping pong was the work of his life while everything else was a play? He became too good at the game that he could beat many of his friends. The day he beat the school's third best player, the teacher said, "I want to speak to your parents. Cannot Things cannot continue as they are now." She wrote a letter to Grandpa and Grandma, which they were never received because Little Daddy pulled it out of the mailbox, read it, and tore it up. It was so awful that he tore it up into tiny bits. His teacher sent his parents another letter. It was still worse than the first one, so Little Daddy tore it into still tinier bits. I am ashamed to say so, but that's what happened. Little Daddy teacher was very surprised, for Grandpa and Grandma never came to see her. Just as she was about to write them a third letter. Little Daddy beat the school champion at ping pong. After that, he decided there was no use going to school anymore, and so he didn't. Every morning, he made believe that he was going to school, but there were no notebooks or textbooks in his school bag. Instead there were two ping pong paddles, a net and three balls, and a sandwich which was Little Daddy's lunch. All day long he played ping pong. Little Daddy had many new friends. Little Daddy had many new friends, all of whom were equally crazy about ping pong. He knew every Moscow champion by sight. The famous Falkovich brother greeted him as an equal. He became a member of the junior team. He had already lost his first real game. At this point, his teacher, having received no answer to her letters and missing Little Daddy in class, went to see him. Little Daddy was not at home. Grandma and Grandpa were, though. When they discovered their son had been playing hooky and was spending his days slamming a little white ball around, they were thunderstruck. They decided that Little Daddy was out of his mind. After all, they had never played ping pong. They hid his paddles and balls and took Little Daddy to a doctor. This was no plain, ordinary doctor. This was a professor who had spent his life treating crazy people. However, he had never played ping pong. He simply couldn't understand why Little Daddy had to play hooky on account of this game called ping pong. Little Daddy couldn't understand why the professor was asking him such stupid questions. Do the boys hit you in school? Do you sleep well? Do you have headaches in the morning? Do you have headaches in the evening? Are you afraid of the dark? Have you ever had fits? Have you ever been unconscious? Naturally, Little Daddy said no to every one of them. Then the professor continued, "Do you like your school? Do you like your teacher? Do you have friends in school, boys, girls?" And now Little Daddy said yes to every question. Is there a girl you like better than the rest? The professor asked. That made little daddy mad. Why do you keep asking me all these questions? I was playing hooky so I could play ping pong. And your questions have nothing to do with anything. Alright, the professor said. What do you intend to do now? Play ping pong, little daddy replied. Do you know how this might all end? Have you ever thought of the future? Sure, little daddy said. Our teammate win the Moscow tournament. I'm serious, the professor snapped. So I am a, said little daddy. Then the professor shrugged. He put some drops into a glass of water and said, Here, drink this. To little daddy. I don't want to, said little daddy. I am not sick. But I am, said the professor and drank the medicine himself. Then he added in a whisper, If I talk your parents into letting you play through the season, do you promise you'll go back to school in September? Yes, said little daddy. Then the professor summoned grandpa and grandma. He said, The boy is absolutely sane. Let him play ping pong. He's missed most of the term anyway, and he took some more medicine. And so little daddy and his parents went home. Little daddy's team didn't win the tournament, but it did take second place, and daddy still insists that the year was not wasted. He realized that ping pong wasn't the most important thing in the world. He even began to miss his school. He went back the following September and eventually graduated. Many years passed. His old pedal is still in the top shelf of the cupboard. Grandpa and Grandma still shudder at the sight of it, but Daddy looks at it fondly. It was certainly silly to drop out of school because of ping pong. Everybody smiles when they hear this story. So does Daddy, and yet ping pong is a very good game. I'll write all about it someday. But when Daddy saw that his daughter had taken an interest in ping pong, he became very worried. However, he was relieved to see that she wasn't going to drop out of school on account of it. Too, she did become the school champion. That's when Daddy finally understood how Grandpa and Grandma had felt, and he hid his old pedal in a far corner of the cupboard. But he takes it out sometime and recalls his ping pong days. So our story is finished. So if you like our today's video, please do like and subscribe. Please do like, share and subscribe to my channel Khalsa Vlogs. And this much only. Bye. Keep the subscribe button like this. Bye.